Hi, dear viewer, and welcome to our family talk show here at Church of Uganda Family TV. This show is in partnership with Life Ministry Uganda, and we are so excited to be here and also to know that you are there at home, in your sitting room, or wherever you are trying to follow us. May the good Lord bless you. Our topic this evening is a very, very good one. Today we will be talking about love and marriage. To discuss this with me, an amazing couple. They are already here in the studio. Someone out there, drum rolls. And these are none other than Mr. Alex Mugabe and his dear wife, Mrs. Shallon Mugabe. This is a very exciting evening, and we believe that you will be blessed because you tuned in. Allow me introduce our guests to us. They are church members of St. Philip Church in Chira. They are born-again Christians, and right about now, ladies and gentlemen, allow me introduce to you our guests to say hello to you, and then we will hit the ground running. Hi.
Hi, Claire.
How are you?
Good.
Happy to have you here. Very,
you.
very excited to have you here. And thank you for coming. Wow. Please say hello to the viewers. Yeah, you're welcome. And please say hello to our viewers. They are excited to learn from you today. Yeah, I'm telling you the secret. Yeah, they are really, really excited to learn from you today. Please say hello to them, and then we hit the ground running.
Sure.
Yes.
Thank you. Hello, viewers. This is Alex Mugabe, husband to Shallon, father to Nisi, Elion, and Eloa. We live in Chira. Like you heard, we serve with St. Philip Church in Chira, where I'm, by God's grace, the lead minister. Over to you.
Wow.
Thank you, Alex. My name is Shallon. Everything Alex said is true. He just missed one part, which is that I am his wife.
I thought I said husband, Shallon.
I didn't hear the word wife. And I thought I'd introduce it.
Oh, wow.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you very much, the Mugabes, for coming. I like how you pronounce your name, Shallon. That's a nice one. Happy to have you here. So our topic today is, do you have anything to say, or we can go into our topic now?
Let's go into the topic.
Okay, so today we are discussing love and marriage. Yeah, someone there. Are you excited? So the Mugabes, what kind of love are we talking about here? How do we keep that love alive in our marriage? Yeah. What kind of love are we talking about, and how can we keep it in our marriage?
Thank you, Claire. It's interesting. I am very quick to answer what kind of love we are talking about. I know Alex will expound more. But like we said, he's not my dad. He's not my uncle.
Yeah.
He's not my son. We are married. That's the kind of love we are talking about. Certainly, there are other aspects beyond that relationship that we share as husband and wife. But clearly, we will be talking about the love between a husband and a wife.
Okay. Wow. And how do we keep that love that you are talking about? Many people say February is a love month, and I'm seeing people already putting on their status, about a month ago you refused to reply my message, now Valentine is here. So you have made it clear that that is not the kind of love that we are discussing this evening. So please share with us, how can one keep that kind of love alive in his or her marriage?
Thank you, Claire. Marriage is beautiful. I was dreading that question, what kind of love? But my wife hit it right on top. It's hard to categorize love. Say this kind, this kind, this kind. I think at the end of the day, love is love. But we are talking about it in the context of marriage, in relation to marriage. So when you ask how do we keep that alive, I take it that we are talking about love in marriage. How do we keep it alive? Sounds a simple question, but not quite. By being alive. By being alive to my wife's needs. By being alive to the fact that I went out and asked her to accept me. So I need to actually be alive in loving her. So we keep that love in marriage alive by not getting there, and then you get tired. You loved her, you loved him from the start. Why stop when you get there? Keep loving, keep living, keep reinventing the affair, keep reinventing the love. Don't stop. Keep moving, keep loving. I think as we go on, we will talk more about what it means to keep loving.
Okay. Yeah. Keep loving, keep living, don't give up. Those things that you did at the start, don't stop them when you reach maybe in the middle of the year, or as you go on and you stop them. No, keep them coming in. If you used to bring flowers, if you used to, say sorry, keep them alive. Don't do away with them. Shallon, do you have anything to add on this?
I just wanted to add that let me tip off the gentlemen, and the ladies will have to pay me after this show. Keep dating us. Date us again. Do not stop. It didn't end. We liked it before you got us. All that you did, the many calls that you made, the SMSs that you sent, the rain, the weather that you endured, the distances that you traveled, an extra mile. Date us again. Keep dating us. Love, keep dating.
Yep.
Wow.
14 years and I'm still hearing
dating. I think that would be a very good story for you to tell us how you're keeping the dates alive. Anyways, thank you very much for that sharing. Keep loving in all times, in all seasons. Keep the love alive. Then Shallon tells us that keep the dates, keep dating your wife. And also, wives, keep dating your husbands.
Thank you.
Keep dating them. Yeah, take them when you get your salary or some money. Take your hubby out. I think, it's a two-way thing.
Maybe, Claire, let me just interject.
Yeah.
The dating I'm talking about is different from having a date. I'm talking about the lifestyle of people who are trying to attract one another.
Oh.
So beyond the dates at the beach and at the restaurant, the best of them, we are talking about the dating, the feeling, the chase, the small things that you did, the thoughtfulness. So it is not just, I'm not necessarily talking about having dates. I'm talking about the dating experience.
Oh, wow. That's why you needed to, bring it up to this very end for us to understand it very well. Thank you very much right there. So to you, Alex, what kind of work or things can you do to make a marriage successful?
Thank you, Claire. What things do I do? I love my wife.
Thank you.
And
you do.
Thank you. I was waiting for her to confirm that I do. It sounds too general, but she's talking about dating. I'm talking about loving. Keep the interest. True. Am I interested in her? Or after we got there, the interest died out. I am showing interest. I am giving myself. Love, I have learned, is self-giving. You give yourself without reservation. You give yourself to the other person. That's why it all begins. And that's what I do. I have tried my best to give myself to my wife. I show interest in her. I show concern. I care about the things that she cares about. I serve her. I am there for her. I am there with her. So giving yourself. The challenge I see in most relationships is we hold back. We go into these relationships, we go into marriage expecting to receive. I am looking for love. I came into this marriage to give love. When I asked my wife out before we got married, I asked her because I had love to offer. And when she accepted me, I am doing my best to offer that love. I told my wife when we were dating that I want you, I would like you to be the best loved woman on earth. So we got there, I think in our second year maybe. One evening, she reminds me, says, "You remember when you said this?" I said, "Yes, I do." And, I said it with pomp because I knew I was at the top of my game. She said, "Well, I don't feel so." I said, "What do you mean?" I said, "Go around, do research and compare notes." I said, "Well, I don't know how others are feeling, and that's not my place. I know how I'm feeling."
Wow.
And from that moment, I've never forgotten that commitment. Every day, every morning, I step out with an intention, deliberate intention, to love my wife, that she will feel it and she will know that I love her. So the things that I do, it's hard to go into the details of I wash her feet, I cook her food. Because it varies. It depends, it's different from one person to the other. But the bottom line is, may whatever you do be born of love.
Wow.
Be born of that self-giving love. I'm telling you, men, if you give yourself to your wife, you'll enjoy your marriage. And you'll come and tell me, guess what? It's working. Because it has worked for me.
Wow.
Thank
Wow.
you.
Thank you very much, Alex, for sharing. Shallon, would you like to share with us that one thing you have done in your marriage that has contributed to its success?
Thank you, Claire. I wouldn't say there's one thing I have done, because every single day I do good, but at the same time, possibly I do ill. I understand one thing that has really helped me to feel loved, and I think it is the way I express love for Alex. Understanding. Understanding my husband. I have a feeling that I understand my husband, but I am certainly sure that he understands me. And so no matter what happens, because sometimes the feeling is not there, but I have the assurance, total assurance, without a shadow of doubt, and my husband truly loves me because I know he understands me. No one understands me the way Alex does. And I can guarantee you that there's no one who understands Alex the way I do. And if they are there, I salute them. Understanding. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
I could
Okay, please. Yes,
add
it's
to
okay.
that. Entering marriage is sort of speculative. You have met this person, maybe you've related at a distance for some time, and then you decide we are going to go together, not just in the same house, but in the same bed, same bathroom, same everything. Now, I'm saying it's speculative because you are never completely aware of what you're going to find. Now you're there. You have found out who this person really is. Some of the things you could not see while dating. What do? That's where the understanding comes in. So you understand your partner. And when you have understood them, you accept them the way they are. And you love them the way they are. That's why she feels loved. Because I am not loving, before she raised that issue, I was loving her as I thought best. And she was saying, I am not feeling it, because for me, it's like I came with a manifesto of love. This is how I'm going to love my wife. So it's better to understand your partner, relate with them the way they are, accept them as they are, love them as they are, love them the way they feel it. And I'm telling you, you'll get it back in kind. And so, thank you, dear. I think I understand you. And that has made it easier for me to love you the way you feel it best.
I just wanted to add, Claire,
Yes.
that love is not a vaccine. Vaccines are the ones we take in whatever shape they come. We just have to take it. It's time for vaccination, we take the vaccine. That's not love. There are instances when people insist that they are loving, but all they are doing is to do what is convenient for them, what they feel convenient and easy for them. So every time a discussion comes up, you hear another asking, what more can I do? In fact, the other party maybe is not even asking for more. They are only asking for understanding. Listen to them and understand how they feel loved. So you could do whatever you want to do, go to the moon and return, and feel that you have done it all. What more could you do? Would you please understand your person and reach them at that point? Thank you, Claire.
Yeah.
Just quickly.
Okay.
Don't love.
I think you love this this part of the story now.
Because it's the heart, it somehow speaks that. I just wanted to add quickly, sort of a summary. Don't love the person in your mind. Love the person you are with. Understand the person you are with and love that one. Not the one you have created in your mind. Not the one you came into marriage with in your mind.
Wow. Thank you very much. I see the passion in it, in bringing it here. Yeah, thank you very much. And then again to you, Shallon, why do you think marriages these days fail?
Well, why would my marriage fail? My marriage would fail if I gave up on it. The day I give up on my marriage, it shall certainly fail. But as long as I am committed to it, it will not fail. Because we do not lack in things that could cause marriages to fail. Just imagine a wife who has just bought her very nice shoe and then the husband doesn't want to even see it. How about a husband who has gone out of the way and bought this ML for the wife, only for her to bash it? Do you know that that's potential for a marriage to fail? But I'm making it that simple just to say that anything can actually fail a marriage. And the only thing that can save a marriage is the commitment for it to work.
Wow.
So I would say that what will make my marriage fail is if I lose interest in it and I lose my commitment to it.
Wow. Why marriages struggle or why marriages fail. And Shallon was telling us that it only happens if you give up on your marriage, lack of commitment. So, Shallon, would you please take it up from that, or we go to Alex?
All right, I am going to add more.
Okay.
Do you want me to give Alex an opportunity now?
Okay, let him first speak and then you're going to add.
Thank you. You know, you talked about passion when we were answering the previous question. Yes, we are passionate about marriage, our marriage. We love each other deeply, but we are also passionate to share our experience with as many. We didn't mention that we are involved in a ministry called Family Care, where we share more of this. So when you see us getting passionate, it is well. Why do marriages struggle? I think much of the struggles we're experiencing in marriages are a result of a combination of factors, really. But I would like to start off this way, that marriage fails before it starts. Why? Today, we have a diminished sense of permanence when it comes to marriage. We go in with one leg. Mm-hmm. You hear things like, I love her. Sweet, I love you. I love my wife. But the day you can fill in the blanks. The day what you are saying is, you don't see your marriage as a permanent thing. You have capped it. You have given it a cap. You have set a limit. The day that's a limit. And trust me, sometime that limit is going to be reached. And so what do you do when it reaches? You step out. Because you set the limit already. It's connected to what she said about the commitment. When you give up, the day so that diminished sense of permanence, that we go in with room to end it. Marriage should be a one-way in, no way out. So that once you get there, you make it your job. You asked me earlier the things you do. You make it, you purpose to keep it. You purpose that no matter what happens, I am fighting for my marriage. I am keeping my marriage. The other thing is related to what I mentioned earlier. Going in to receive. What is in it for me? Taking versus giving. So you are there, you are doing nothing except complain about what is not being done for you. What Shallon is not doing for me. Until I get tired and say, I can't take it anymore. But what am I giving? What am I doing? Am I proactive? Or am I proactively working at my marriage? Or I'm waiting for the other person to work at it? So I go in, if we go in with the attitude of receiving only, when we go in and we are looking for love, not looking to give it, you will reach there, you'll be frustrated. Because you have come with your mind set on some expectation of love. You might reach there and it's different. And so if you come with that attitude, it is easy for your marriage to fail. The third thing I'll talk about and then give opportunity to Shallon to say something else, to say something more, is entitlement attitude. An attitude of entitlement. And you know how it is expressed? We may say it, we may not say it, but this attitude of, you are lucky to have me. She is lucky to have me. She is lucky to have me. And if she doesn't handle me well, I will leave. I'm entitled. Friends, we are blessed to have our spouses. I'm blessed to have Shallon in my life. She's not like, in fact, she's damned having me. She's not lucky to have me. So you go in and you put your partner on bunkenke because she's lucky to have you, he's lucky to have you, and so they must do everything to keep you. That sense of entitlement destroys marriage. The pressure is too much, the expectations are unrealistic, and the other person eventually is worn out. But guess what? The person with that attitude is not doing much, is not doing enough. They are simply sitting. It's like the other person is always on test. Now let me see this time. Okay, let me see. And for sure, one day you will see. This person may actually walk out and you don't ever see them again. So let's style up. Let's get out of this entitlement mentality. Let's get out of this diminished sense of permanence in relation to marriage, and let's get out of this attitude of going into marriage only to receive, as if the other person was made to satisfy whatever longings you have.
Wow. Shallon?
Oh, thank you. Two things come to mind in addition to what Alex has said. One is selfishness and the other is betrayal. I have had the pain of listening to some sad stories. You meet Alex and Shallon, they look okay, they look good, but that is only because they had to come to church. But that is only because they had to attend the great-grandmother's funeral. As far as they are concerned, there's no relationship. When someone treats another like they do not have blood and flesh like them, it is sad that wonderful gentlemen in offices are so ruthless and mean to their wives. And beautiful, clean, hard-working women in the corporate world are very disrespectful, highly, to their husbands. So the selfishness that people bring into the marriage, and yet they expect you to cover up for them. I have noticed that can break the other party, even when they are well-meaning. They want to stay, but one makes it so difficult for them to stay. Today, they have now started beating. Then tomorrow, they're not even coming home at all. The other day, they're embarrassing you in public. Then it is one after another until you lose yourself. Selfishness. The second that I said I would want to talk about is betrayal. You know, when we get married, somehow, apart from those who really go through premarital counseling, which St. Francis does so well, and St. Philip does as well, and Alex and I are involved in that you're not necessarily prepared for betrayal. The fairy tales we've read dictate that it is happily ever after. And then before you know it, you cannot tell how the accounts are managed. Before you know it, you do not know who the other person is talking to. At every point, not necessarily, you begin to feel betrayed. You begin to lose the trust. and then you are hurt. If you stay in, you do not give your all because you have already lost trust in the other person. The sense of betrayal. Every time something happens and you keep it in and it doesn't come out, it piles. That account, that dirty account piles until such a point that it bursts, that one cannot stay. However, there are times when people bring it up. I tell Alex, I feel betrayed, or Alex tells me, you betrayed me in this way. And what is Alex's response? How else did you want me to do it? Sometimes they'll blame it on you. You are never available for me to do it, or you are, whatever it is, they blame it. Now, sometime back, I went through that experience with Alex. I felt that I wasn't being understood, and expressing myself was not delivering the point home. So I bottled it in. In fact, at that time, I was used to being with Alex most of the time. But this time round, we were not together all the time. So every time that I expressed to him that our time together has diminished, somehow he felt his hands were tied. Most likely, it could be the case. But what did I do? I decided to deal with it myself until I no longer cared. I no longer required him to give me the company that I needed. I expected nothing at a certain point. And that drew us apart for a while. So this one time, I am away from home. I'm not in town, but Alex is in town. And in the privacy of my room where I was, I get convicted that this is not the marriage I signed up for. A marriage where I'm not getting the full benefit of companionship, of love. And you know there is no marriage in heaven. So I thought from here to heaven, and the marriage was just half-baked, I said it won't happen. But really there was a conviction on my part that I was unforgiving. And face to face with the Lord, I confessed it to the Lord, and I called Alex late in the night, and I told him, Alex, for the things that you have done that have hurt me, for the things that you will ever do that will hurt me, you are forgiven. And I felt liberated. It is that commitment that I have given Alex, that I'm not going to give room for holding hurt, for refusing to forgive simply because I felt betrayed. Maybe my expectation, my definition of betrayal could even be out of this world. It could be that he didn't pick me from work at 5, he came at 6, and I call that betrayal. But you know really that even if I say that there are varying degrees of betrayal, and a recipe to that is forgiveness. So, love for the things you've done before, and for those you are yet to do.
You're forgiven.
But you've stolen my story. That was my story. I wanted to give.
I'm sorry. I cheated.
You cheated the exam.
All right.
Yeah, that's a wonderful story. Just to add that when she returned home, when she called and told me, I received it. I was glad, but I was kind of waiting to see what will happen when she returns. I can tell you when she returned, it was honeymoon afresh, and we are still living in that honeymoon.
Wow.
Yeah. So yes, thank you for forgiving me.
Wow. Thank you very much. And as a child of God, I want to pray that all those dirty accounts, all those bad accounts that may cause marriages to struggle, may the Lord burn them down in his mightiest name. Amen. That he as the author of our marriages, he will keep them till the very end. Thank you very much for sharing, and I really I'm blessed to be here and listen from what you're sharing with us, how you forgive. That actually brings me to the next question. It's partly answered of what can one do, especially if they're going through such things, they're having challenges in their marriages. How can you help them to forgive, like you said? I know it really takes the grace of God, but how can you help such a person? Partly answered, but in case you have something to add on that.
All right, would you like Alex to go first? Just
yes. Please, Alex, go first.
I have something to add. It may pass for help as well. Friends, none of us is perfect. None. That is something I have learned. But interestingly, we go into marriage expecting perfection. We are looking for the perfect one, the Mr. Right, the Miss Right. And we get there, and there's no perfection. And then we live in frustration. And then we start, keeping these accounts of, can you imagine? He even does this, he even does this, he even does that. It's a lesson I have learned for myself. It's a lesson I share with many people, and it's a lesson I would like to share with us here. Let's come to the accept the reality that no one is perfect. So hurts are going to be there. Mistakes are going to be there. Things are going to go bad. So what do? She's talked about forgiveness. The other thing I can say is the commitment on my part to do as far as it depends on me to do what is right. Not waiting for the other person to be the one to do what is right. So I think when we understand that no one is perfection, forgiveness becomes easier. And sometimes you feel you're the one who is aggrieved. Meanwhile, the person on the other end, whether they are right or wrong, they also feel aggrieved. And you look at this one, hey, that's the person you chose. So live with their imperfections. Give them grace in their imperfections that you have received. If from no one, at least from God. And so if we understand that we are imperfect, we all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God, then we will be able to do what Scripture teaches, bearing with one another. Bearing with one another. So bear with your spouse's weaknesses. Bear with their imperfections. Bear with their annoyances. Bear with their foolishness. Bear. The challenge sometimes when you're talking to people that is raised is, what if I'm the only one bearing? Here is the ideal. Here is what I would encourage everyone to do. Let us both do it. As she bears with you, bear with her. But should it happen that you find you're the only one bearing, bear on, and bear on. It's the Lord who will win the battle. The battle belongs to the Lord. So don't say, I've been bearing all this while, I'm done. Well, when you're done, your marriage is done. So let's bear with one another. Conscious of the reality that none of us is perfect. And we accept one another in our imperfections. Thank you, love, for accepting my imperfections.
But you're the perfect one.
So,
the perfect one. I don't know what you're talking
so
about.
what, maybe to add to that, for someone who is going through that, let me say this, friends. This love we are talking about is not love within our power. It's not love. If Shallon was married to the Alex of 20 years ago, it would be a different story. But about 22 years ago, I met Christ. Christ changed me, made me a new person. So the love I'm talking about is the love that only Christ has brought into my life. I'm able to do that because Christ is in me. There are many times I could say something, or I could act in a certain way, and I feel justified. But the one who is in me says, hey son. No. So instead of uttering the worst statement, I think of the sweetest. Instead of acting in a certain way, I think of a better way. Why? Because of the one who is in me. Friends, how can I help or offer help? Allow Christ to live his love through you, and you'll be able to share it with your spouse. But if all that fails, find someone to talk to. This is something we learned in our premarital counseling when we were being counseled, and it's something we have practiced, and it's something we share with others. Agree beforehand in times of peace that people you would speak to should you be in a situation like that. And when that comes around, speak to someone. Speak to someone. Let them talk to you, because sometimes you're going through something and you cannot even speak together. So speak to someone. Let someone pray with you. Let someone give you counsel. And that way, it's easier. It is easy to work through certain things that may have been difficult between the two of you.
Wow. Thank you very much for sharing. We can only be able to forgive if the Lord is in us. We need God in our lives. It's only because of him that we are able to love, because he loved us first. Yeah, so thank you very much. And how has your marriage affected your life?
Oh, I want to go first on that.
No, it's Shallon. It's Shallon.
Okay, Shallon.
Yes.
I understand.
You're
Alex.
passing it?
I understand my Alex. I'm not passing it. I have a turn.
Okay.
Let him go first.
Oh, he has just finished.
It will be short. The person you meet today, the Alex you meet today, in every sense, it's because of the marriage I have with Shallon. So because I already said much, I won't go into details, but just to know that my marriage has shaped me into the man I am. Over to you.
Oh, that's brief.
I promised it.
Okay.
For starters, Claire, if you met me before I met Alex, you'd feel so sorry for me. I looked horrible.
Sorry.
Thank you. You're so kind. But I don't think you understand it. But the value that Alex has added to me goes beyond just the physical. And truly, there has been appreciation, the physical appreciation of my value, because Alex has been with me. But I'm reminded of a conversation we had when we were just married. We were talking about property and heirs and all that, and who would appear on the land title and all that. Now we have a way we do it, but in that conversation, Alex told me, he said that the question had been, what would we do? What would we do about the property if there was conflict on property? What would happen? And we are married. And Alex told me that if his brother wanted his piece of land, he would let him have it. That's how he answered that question. Now, that wasn't me. I wasn't one who donates stuff that now we bought property, it belonged to Alex and I, we are no longer together, and I'm going to let him go. That wasn't me. But from that point on, I have no attachment whatsoever to the property Alex and I own, to the estates we share. And it's because I have learned, really, under living with Alex, that allow me to speak it in a language that is very, very easy for me to speak. Ebiensi no mushenyi. So I have learned that from Alex. That is the new me, the one who does not attach value to the things I have or the things I may accumulate, and I'm also that way, easy on estates, on what we will own and what we will have. It came from Alex. The former me, before I met him, was attached to anything and everything that I had put my sweat to. Now, don't be deceived that you're going to get it easy. But I can tell you that I'm going to let things just go. But I can tell you my attitude has long changed because of Alex.
Wow. Great testimony. If you didn't understand what she said, she meant things of this world are like sinking sand. Yeah, thank you very much. I'll give you one minute. Give us your final remarks, and then we get out of here. Our time is, fast spent.
Thank you. Still had much to share, but we'll have another opportunity.
Yes, please.
When you get in touch with Life Ministry, we don't work with Life Ministry, but we're associates of Life Ministry Uganda. We do ministry together. And so if you get to Life Ministry or if you get to us, we can talk more. But what is my last word? My last word is that marriage is, let me put it this way, there is no such a thing. Now, listen carefully so I'm not taken out of context. There is no such a thing as marriage. What do I mean? We hear things like, my marriage is struggling. No, it's not your marriage is struggling, it's you struggling. My marriage is hard. No, it's not marriage that is hard, it's the people in it. What I mean is that your marriage is you. So if your marriage is struggling, it's you struggling. If your marriage is hard, it's you who is hard. If your marriage is terrible, it's you who is terrible. So if your marriage fails, it's not marriage that has failed. It is you that has failed. So work on you, and your marriage will be you. What you are is what you bring into your marriage. So let's get out of this of creating a third party called marriage. It doesn't exist. My marriage and Shallon is Shallon and I.
I'll quickly just ask our viewers and thank them really for giving us the time. But I would like to ask you if you're married. If you're not married, but you aspire to get married, be in the habit of fellowshipping with people who are married and talking about the marriage. It can get lonely out there in the confines of your bedroom with your spouse. But there are people who have walked this journey. Now, be in the habit of fellowshipping with them, of being in their company. I would expect every church to have a marriage fellowship. That is a fellowship any married person doesn't want to miss. Because in there, that is now the grooming ground for people you can talk to when you are drowning. That is the ground for people you can pray with when it is too heavy on you. That is a place for you to learn how to do it better when you are not able to do it. So I encourage you, I encourage churches, I encourage ministers to create opportunities for married people to be together. And if the church hasn't done it, Alex and I are willing to receive you in our ministry of married people, family care. We'll be glad to walk with you. We'll be glad to be in heaven and celebrate that we made it and we did not drop off. Join fellowship, be in the company of married people, the right place for you to grow. Thank you, Claire.
Oh, that's so kind of you. Please don't die in your own movie if you're out there. They are willing to walk this journey with you, and please join any fellowship, share with them. Our God is more than faithful. Thank you very much for coming. We are so happy to have you here, and to you, our viewers, we are so blessed that you are a part of this. Thank you, and thank you very much. May the good Lord bless you. My name is Claire Buenje, your favorite host. I never forget that because I know. And this is the Family Talk Show, your favorite show. May the good Lord bless you. And from me, the Mugabes, it is a bye-bye. God bless you. See you again next Friday at 9 p.m. Bye-bye.